Welcome to Pilot Point Elementary, preparing for first grade online training. Hello, my name is Corey Houghton. I will be your child's online first grade teacher this school year, and I'm so excited to be your child's teacher. Allow me to tell you a little bit about myself before we get into more information about our first grade program. To the left is my youngest daughter, Reagan Houghton, and she is an oncology nurse in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. My husband, John, we were married in 1986, and we met at Liberty University, and he is self-employed with a business here in Pilot Point. My oldest daughter is to the right of me, and her name is Virginia Houghton, and you may have heard her name. She has been in first grade here at Pilot Point Elementary up until this year, and she will be getting married in December and moving to Keller. And our son Wes is on the right, and he works for Google in Austin. And this is his daughter McKinley, and she is our first and only granddaughter. I graduated from Liberty University in 1986 with a Bachelor of Science degree in elementary education, certified K through 4. I've taught kinder for 2 years in Virginia, 4th grade 1 year in Virginia, and first grade for 16 years right here in Pilot Point Elementary. Online learners will need the supplies for the standard supply list as well as a few additional supplies. If you'll look at the standard supply list on the left, you'll notice there's a few things like Lysol spray, Clorox wipes. Those are things that you have at home. You don't have to go back out and buy any of those, but just look at the list and pick up the things you think you might need for online learning at home. To the right is first grade online learning school supplies. These you will need. So if you will, I know that's a lot. So if you really have to pick from our online list, we really need you to make sure that your students have a dry erase board with markers, glue sticks, and white paper. We're going to be doing a lot of writing with some pencils. So just make sure that you have those things up and ready to go before the first day of school. In the supply box, you'll need to make sure that you have at least crayons, scissors, pencil, and 1 glue stick. And that will keep us focused without some of the cute little things that we can buy, but sometimes they can be a distraction. So suggestion would be just to fill that box up with just these few supplies so they're readily available for instruction. You will need 3 journals. These composition books will need to be labeled: writing notebook, math notebook, and reading notebook. This is something that is very critical for online learning, and that is creating a learning space. This could be a challenge for some not so much, but do the best you can with creating a quiet area. Students will need a comfortable chair. The laptop surface for writing needs to be clear and clean as well. Start off clean each day. You'll need a basket for larger supplies like notebooks and folders, a basket or box for books, and a box or basket for supplies that are readily available. Creating a learning space. Your space needs to be interesting for your child. So let's try and be creative and maybe design it in a way that creates interest for your child, but there will need to be a space. You could use science folders that can be used for science fair projects. There are 3. They have trifold folders, or necessarily folders, but they are the large display boards for science fair projects. Those would be something that you could use, number one, for your word wall, or a place for the student to display their work. But these things can be used on one of those science boards, folded up and put away and just brought out as they use them on a daily basis. It's critical that when we're looking at online learning, it will look different for each family, but before the first day, it's important that you plan what your routine is going to be. Each student is required to spend at least 4 hours each day on schoolwork. And over to the right is sample schedule. So you'll probably need to start your morning off with your morning meeting. What do I mean by morning meeting? That's a time where you talk about what today's date is. Talk about good things that have happened. Just spend 2 or 3 minutes in that morning meeting talking about what the day is going to look like. At about 9:20, we need to get started with phonics. And let me pause right there. I'll repeat it again in just a second, but you will get your students' lessons for that day through Seesaw each morning. So I'll make sure that that is available to you, and you'll only get it for that day, that morning. So I'll talk a little bit more about what that looks like in greater detail, but take a look at the sample schedule and stick as close to that as possible. Online learning tools. You'll need ClassLink. Install on students' devices. Needs to be needed to complete assignments. So here is ClassLink. You'll need to download this, and I will send more details on exactly step by step on how to do that, but that's going to be necessary for you to be able to turn in assignments and receive assignments. Over here, install on parents' devices. So you need to be able to see completed work and feedback from teacher, and this is what we're going to use to do that. And this is what we are going to be using to communicate back and forth with from teacher to parent. Available as an app on, these are all available on apps for mobile devices, on computers, and also iPads. Online learning tools, which is Zoom. We will use Zoom twice weekly for a morning meeting. This check will be important for building our class community and reviewing new materials. Zoom meetings will be held on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 10 a.m. sharp. That's going to be our check-in for attendance. If your child will not be able to attend at this time, please let me know, and I'll give you my contact information in a little bit. In the future, we will also schedule Zoom meetings for small group reading groups and one-on-one meetings, but that's just a few weeks down the road before we'll actually be ready for that. Now, your lessons for your students. This is my emoji classroom. You will be receiving this classroom slide each morning. And let's take a look at it. It'll have the date and what we're going to be learning. So let's say we're going to be in reading, we're going to read Pete the Cat. You will click on this and it'll go straight to the lesson. There will be videos, assignments, anything that I need the students to complete. They will just click on that and the total lesson will be there for them. On some of the lessons, since this is online, some of the lessons will be recorded by other teachers giving a lesson in a actual classroom here in Pilot Point in one of the other first grade classes. For example, I may videotape Miss Morgan or Miss Raines or Miss Henson doing a phonics lesson. and then I will download that, and you can let your student take part of that in that lesson through the video that I downloaded. So we will work down the list each day. They will be clicked off as we cover them. So your student really needs to follow along with me, and it will not be live, but your student will need to work through this, sticking to this schedule as closely as possible. Now, it's important to understand that we want your children to be moving around too. So there will be breaks in between some of the lessons and some cute little videos, Go Noodles and all, for them to get up and move around, or to go outside and play around for a little bit, then come back and refocus. Also, each of these lessons will, when you click on, for example, if we get on the phonics and there's an assignment that your student will need to complete, it will give an approximate time. For example, maybe 20 minutes allowed for that activity. And with all these videos and assignments that are required, it's probably not going to take more than 4 hours, but we'll be very careful not to push that time any longer. But this is an example of what the classroom is going to look like, and we look forward for our first meeting together. Preparing for success. Tips from the teacher. Set up a specific learning area. Create rules together, just as we do in the classroom. Encourage independence. Encourage independence and responsibility at home. And most importantly, read with your child, not just as for virtual school, but we need to show them a genuine love for reading. My goal as your child's online teacher is to provide hands-on activities. We want to limit the screen time when we can, but at the end of the year, we want them to be ready for second grade. And over here is a big list of first grade goals. Take a look at this and go over it with your child so that they can understand what's going to be expected of them this year. And it's a lot of fun things to look forward to. I look forward to working with you. I know that as we work together, we will grow and learn and get to know your child a little bit better and how they learn. It is going to be a challenge to do this online, so communication is very important. And make sure that you call me if you need me. I will leave my phone number on the website, but you could also go to chaughton@pilotpointisd.com. If you've got any questions before the first day of school or throughout the year, please do not hesitate to give me a call or contact me through the website. It's going to be a great year, and I'm so excited to have your child and looking forward to working with you.